Hello, loves. It's Hills from the Blue Flame Apothecary. So, in our last couple of energy updates, winding into this new moon we're having this weekend, I spoke a lot about the stars Algol and Alcyon. I'll put a link to those updates for you down below so you can feel into them if you are so called. Today, as we're coming into that void point, the new moon hits its exactitude in the wee hours of the morning here on the California coast, around 4:30 a.m. So we're really in that void point, and after 4:30 a.m. is when the moon starts to re-emerge again. That's why one of the reasons that new moons in general are very amazing times for both a releasing and a rebirthing. Which also is a perfect segue into the two stars that are coming in for us to chat about today and really flow with. And that's Arcturus and Aldebaran. I've spoken about Aldebaran in my Cosmic Light Drops update, but I've never spoken about this amazing star on one of these energy updates. I have spoken about Arcturus. There is some amazing, really profound similarities between the energy of these two stellar dimensions. When I've spoken of Arcturus, the way that the channelings I've received about it, and I've heard other people talk about this as well, is that Arcturus is of the nature of like our cosmic way station. It's a place that we go as we're ready to move on from this earthly plane, and it's the place that kind of holds our Akash and where it's determined where we're going next. Aldebaran has a very similar story. Aldebaran is one of the 4 royal stars, which means it's associated with the 4 earth plane archangels. In this case, it's Archangel Michael. Many people call Aldebaran the Silver Gate portal, and that when Aldebaran comes conjunct to the sun, which it happens to be doing over this new moon, that gateway is open. So we can really work with the energies. Now, when we call it the Silver Gate portal, what we're talking about is that it is a soul portal of incarnation onto the earth plane. So one of the ways that when I was meditating on the energies of these two stars that it came in is that Arcturus is our exit point, and it holds our karma. It holds our karma, which is interesting, right? Because it's been in this long-standing square with the Lord of Karma Saturn. I've talked about quite a bit this year. And that it also, we go there. That's the dimensional plane that our soul goes to when we're shaking off this mortal coil. When we have shaken off this mortal coil. And there, time to reflect on what we did in that past incarnation and how it fits with everything else that all of our previous incarnations had. You know, if you think of those scales, it's that okay, where are we now? Where are we going? And what Aldebaran shared with me is when you take the train from Arcturus, I always see Arcturus as a train station. I don't know why. When you take the train from Arcturus to Aldebaran, part of the reason for this is you're coming back to incarnate into earthly physical form again. And one of the things that Aldebaran does is incorporate into the story that you're going to incarnate with. It holds the gifts that sit underneath the karma, the wounds that you have, that you're incarnating with. There's something really amazing and beautiful about that, right? So we have these like two cosmic points. We have this place where we can go, and it helps us figure out where next in the stellar universe we're gonna incarnate and in what form. And then we have this place, Aldebaran, which helps us template and then acts as a portal of incarnation. Portal of incarnation. So one of the things I was guided to is, okay, where is Arcturus and Aldebaran? Where do they sit in the sky with one another? And it's a really interesting angle. It's called, this is a very hard word to say, square. It's basically a semi-square within a square. And this is a very, this is deep astrology when you're getting into these types of aspects. But I was called to do a little research, so I'm going to share what I found with you. The semi-square within the square, I'm not even going to try and say that word again, is a location of differently abledness. Of where is it that you're finding your differentiations. The places where we are differently abled, where we are different than other, can hold a lot of wounding for us, right? Starseeds and light workers, people on this sort of spiritual path, and myself included, can often get into a lot of trouble because they're trying to circle the square, as it were, like trying to fit into what society at large deems as normal. And it's uncomfortable. And it's only through embracing the differences that you can start to like, oh, I can move again. So if we think about Arcturus and Aldebaran in this angle that represents the places where we're differently abled, can we then start to feel into how all that we brought with us, all the karma that we maybe have built up over many incarnations, and all of the things, I'm being asked to say karma is not always a bad thing. We view karma in our current language as, oh, well, that person's going to get some bad karma there. But there's also the good karma. And we forget about good karma so often, don't we? So it's all the karma that we've built up on both sides of the scale that we come through Arcturus to come and meet up with. And we meet with our higher self and all of the beings of the higher dimensions in whatever form or formlessness they may take. Kind of work through that. Where do we want to play next? What's the next thing that's going to make our soul sing? What's the next thing that's going to make our soul sing? And then we take the train, we get on the train to wherever that destination is. And if that destination happens to be the earth plane, we come into Aldebaran. And when we do that, we take all of the things that would make us differently abled with us, all of that karma, and we say, okay, here's the layer that we need to kind of, this is the thing that's a little crunchy that we maybe need to work on a little bit, and here's the gifts. So if we can figure out how to navigate this portion of our differently abledness, we get to enjoy the gifts of our differently abledness. I feel like we just kind of need to luxuriate in the differently abledness and the beauty of all of our differences with one another, and those places where we can honor what each other being brought in with them. I had some conversation with Aldebaran this morning in my meditation as well. And one of the things that came through is to talk about a couple of the nature of Aldebaran, what we have labeled on top of Aldebaran. You know, we're human, and we have these beautiful minds that we're constantly trying to figure the world and the universe out with. So we say Aldebaran is of the nature of Mars. It's really Mars and Jupiter, which is interesting considering it's currently sextile a Mars-Jupiter conjunction in Aries. More of that in the Cosmic Light Drops. I'll share a link below. It's also of the nature of the Archangel Michael. When I was in conversation with Aldebaran, I was like, wow, Mars, warrior god, Archangel Michael, flaming sword. And I was like, what does that mean? Why do you're this amazing dimension of light. You're this amazing dimension of gifts. You're the portal into the earth plane. So what is it that has made you Mars-like? What is it that, why is it that Archangel Michael has a sword? And I laughed at the answer. And it was like, Mars isn't war. That's human. Archangel Michael's not holding a sword. That's just the human mind's interpretation of the pillar of light, the flaming pillar of light that Archangel Michael has, because it's protection. And because the way that human beings have interact with one another over the last few centuries especially, we see this pillar of light of protection and we think sword. We see this god of war, or we see this god of protection, Mars, of bringing in the new, of really, ooh, that's fun, right? Bringing in the new is Mars, and isn't that what Aldebaran is doing as well, right? So it's all of this human beingness that we are trying to implant upon these other dimensions that maybe don't interact with the idea of war in the same way as us. Instead, for them, it's like, well, no, this is light, this is protection. This is how we communicate with one another. And if you say, well, why do you need protection if there's no war? Well, of course, we all need to feel, it doesn't matter what dimension we're in, right? We need to feel that grid of light that's our own is able to be held in order for us to feel safe enough to interact with all of the other grids of life. So you can allow a light of protection around you. You can allow yourself to become a pillar of light. Does that make you a sword? Or does a sword even mean a tool of violence in any other dimension except for the earth plane? These are all beautiful things to ponder, and I think it's part of the gift that Aldebaran is giving us in this particular new moon conjunction. There's all these ways where we can meditate on and journey through, and this is Gemini energy, so we can get a little mind foodie about it, and that's cool. We can what is it that my mind is trying to make this into, because of all of the karma that I brought back in, and all of the karma that I incarnated into through my ancestral line and through the collective as well. I can feel that there's a meditation for us as well in this. Let's just go in. If you have not already done so, close your eyes. Take a couple of deep breaths into your heart center. And begin to allow your stellar gateway chakra, far above your head, to open. As this gateway begins to open, it connects in with the Soul Luna gateway and Aldebaran gateway. With this connection, activated, allow all the light codes that Aldebaran wishes to share with you to funnel down, hitting first your soul star chakra. Unwinding and bringing light to the gifts hidden beneath your fear. As this unwinding occurs, you start to feel like a gentle sunstorm, codes of light falling from your soul star chakra around and down into your entire being. These beautiful golden white diamond prism rainbow light drops hit every one of your energy centers, those within your being, your body, and those all around your entire astral field. All layers, levels, and dimensions of your beingness are being activated with these drops of light. Watering you. Bringing in nutrients, feeding you. Breathe in this light, soak in this light, and begin to earth this light as your Earth Star chakra and the chakras within your feet connect in with all of this light and all of your energetic centers, connecting all the way up to your soul star chakra, helping you to anchor through all that's been unlocked. Feel a connection at that area in between your heart and throat. Feel a connection at that area between your sacral and sacrum, your navel and root chakras. If there's anything you need to release, I'm being told that the earth will be happy to take it in and transmute it for you at this now. it go. Let it go. As you let more light in from Aldebaran. These gifts that you've also brought with you. It is done now. Take a few deep breaths as you allow the portal with Aldebaran to close. With love and gratitude. With love and gratitude. Allow, if it feels right, the connection point between your Earth star and your soul star to remain active as you integrate all this light that has come in. Set the intention that it shall close to the degree and at the degree it is meant to in this now, and that it will stay open to the degree and for the time that it is meant to. And as this integration occurs, you're now able to begin to blink your eyes open. Breathe into your body, your whole body now. And allow yourself to be a part of the world around you, knowing that this integration is always occurring in some way or fashion. It doesn't mean that you have to tuck yourself away. That was a lovely meditation. Thank you for letting me share that with you, and thank you for helping me to share that. As we close this energy update and this meditation, I'm feeling called to share a little bit about the one-on-one sessions that I have talked about a little bit that I'm offering now. What these are transmission, activation, and then meditation and practice. The way that it's come in for me to language this is that we will have a communication, you and I, in this physical plane. And while we're having this communication, and in the days leading up to that communication, our guide's higher self are also being opened up to have a conversation. What we will do when we sit down together over a video call is work with the oracle cards. prior to that, I'll also run your natal chart. These two tools will be used as communication facilitators so that the messages that your higher self and guide wish to express through my higher self, my guides, and through me as catalyst. It's the focus, so that we can say, hey, okay, here's the thing that is going to hit in just the right spot to hear, to feel, to understand. And any meditations and practices that might come through during our one-on-one together, I'll also be sharing with you to work with and play with after our session. It's a recorded session. I share a whole lot more. I go into a lot more detail, and you can check that out on the website, on the Blue Flame Apothecary website, and I'll throw a link below for that. I'm currently allowing people to request sessions for June and beyond, so you can learn more and you can request your session on the website. We have the Blue Flame Members Portal on Patreon as well, and as a member, you are eligible for special rates for these sessions. So if that's something that calls to you, the membership portal is a beautiful space, and I would so much love to journey with you there and hold space and have this beautiful dance together in that way. And there's a lot more frequency meditations and weekly oracle card sessions and apothecary treats that I've channeled through, all kinds of yummy stuff. The apothecary treat for June is actually amazing. It's this fennel and dried orange and lemon balm tea that's all activated with algal and alcyon energies, and with amber and carnelian. And in the portal, I actually share a lot more detail about that as well. Oh, wow. I actually think that meditation is going to get edited into a special treat in that membership portal as well. I suppose this is where we sign off for today. I would love to have you subscribe if this was something that you enjoyed, this energy update, and to ring the little bell if you would like to be notified whenever new frequency transmissions are uploaded. However you decide to dance by this no moon light, I am so grateful that you've shared any and all of the time that you've shared with me, and as always, in all ways, so much and many loves to you from all the dimensions.